Week 6 reflection. So today I went through and I read pages 135 through 140 and 131 through 133. And we definitely have been talking about clear expectations in our classroom. And I wanted to talk about collaborative learning um, and the different parts that I see working with our students. In the text, it was talking about using the collaborative learning with preschoolers and younger ages like elementary schoolers. And I have to say, I totally agree. In the past, I used to be a child development teacher, and so that allowed me to have high school students as well as preschoolers in my classroom, and it was a place where they got to learn how to become teachers or caregivers. And we used to do a lot of different activities that built teamwork within our groups. And I know that it's something that our students will be able to use in the future. And I know that kids get a lot out of it. I would definitely say that it can be more challenging with preschoolers because they're sort of in a spot where they're kind of coming into their own and there's a lot of independence. So I'm not going to necessarily say that I'm arguing or disagreeing with, but I would caution people with the thought that they can do this easily. I think it takes a lot of preparation, and I think it takes a lot of thought in using collaborative learning with preschoolers. I think it has to be very methodical. Now, I teach high school now, and I think it's kind of interesting when we talk about collaborative learning and we talk about ELL, so kids that are coming into the classes without as much language, English language. And so sometimes we do make assumptions about people, but in terms of collaborative learning and the assumptions that we would make, I think we all kind of jump the gun and think that students with language barriers can't participate in that because they still haven't mastered the language. But I am one of those who believes that you can pretty much do anything and you don't have to understand the language to do activities. And a lot of our communication happens to be in body language. And so I definitely think that while others might assume that our students can't do it without knowledge of the English language, um, if it's done correctly and with great preparation and some sensitivity, I think that will be key to our students really gaining confidence in their language, but also in their groups and making new friends. For me, what I aspire to do next year is I really want to work in the large group segment. So I have big classes, they're always full, 30 kids, and I definitely want to focus on some of the large group activities and making sure that my students feel like they're a real active member in what they are learning and what they are producing. And it is hard because, there are times when it has to be teacher led, and I do understand that they are not necessarily hearing everything that I have to say, but there are specific times when you have to do that. But that has been something that I've really wanted to do is get my students in interactive media production and in leadership and in entrepreneurship to work together. But there's something so nice and controlled about grading your students individually. And so that's part of what I'm working on to make sure that if they're in the groups, they're graded individually. And how do I do that? But I definitely aspire to do the groups. Thanks so much for taking time to listen to my week 6 reflection. And I hope that we get together again soon to talk more about a very interesting topic like collaboration.